You know that feeling, right? When you've poured everything into a piece of work and someone just picks it apart. It stings. But what if I told you that most of the time that criticism has almost nothing to do with you? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the real psychology behind why people criticize.
Seriously, think about it. You create something, you're proud of it, maybe even a little vulnerable, and then someone comes along and just dismantles it with a few choice words. It's so frustrating. But what if the reason they're doing it is almost never what you think it is?
And this, right here, is the big idea. It's a total game changer. The criticism you get is often just a mirror, reflecting way more about the person giving it than it ever does about your actual work.
So to get past that initial sting, and we all feel it, we really need to dig in and understand the why. We're about to dissect the psychological gears that are turning when someone decides to critique you. See, understanding these hidden motivations is your new superpower. It gives you the ability to filter feedback like a pro. You'll start to see that what one person calls a mistake is really just a reflection of their own internal world.
So what is actually going on inside a critic's head? Well, our source material points to 6 hidden psychological drivers that are usually pulling the strings behind the scenes. Let's dive right into them.
First up is a big one: power and control. Oh yeah, this is a classic move. By finding flaws in your work, a critic can kind of artificially boost themselves up into a position of authority. It's a really subtle way of saying, I know more than you. You see this all the time at work and even in families.
And this quote just nails it. In their mind, it's a zero-sum game. The point isn't to help you get better. The point is to make their own status feel bigger by making you feel smaller.
Okay, next up, insecurity projection. Have you ever listened to a critic and thought, wait, are they talking about themselves? Well, you're probably right. When someone sees you doing something that pokes at their own self-doubt, criticizing you becomes their defense mechanism.
This simple equation on the slide says everything. They are literally taking their own discomfort, their own fear, their own insecurity, and just lobbing it over to you. They're making it your problem. It was never about your work, it's about their baggage.
Driver number 3 is ego protection. This one kicks in when your work, just by being out there, challenges someone's worldview, or maybe makes them feel a little stagnant. Your progress shines a big ol' spotlight on their lack of it, and their ego just can't handle it. The easiest defense? Go on the attack.
I mean, how powerful is that? It is so much easier to poke a hole in someone else's boat than it is to start rowing your own. So the criticism here, it's not feedback, it's a shield for their own ego.
Next, we've got social comparison and jealousy. And look, we're all human. We are wired to compare ourselves to others. It's practically automatic. So when someone sees your work getting praise or just sees the effort you're putting in, it can spark feelings of inferiority or plain old envy. And a really quick fix for that bad feeling? Try to tear you down a notch.
And that's the whole strategy in a nutshell. It's an attempt to level the playing field, but in the most destructive way possible. Instead of working to raise their own value, they try to lower yours.
Now, this next driver is a little different because it's not always malicious. It's cultural conditioning. Imagine someone who grew up in a house where criticism was just normal, where finding faults was confused with caring or with discipline. For them, it's just their default way of communicating.
So in this case, they might not even be trying to hurt you. They're just running a program that was installed in their childhood. They're repeating an old learned pattern, even if that pattern is totally useless for actually helping someone improve.
And this brings us to a really important distinction. All these drivers we've talked about, the power plays, the projections, the conditioning, they almost always lead to what you see on the left, criticism that's about control. It just creates doubt. But what we're actually looking for, what's actually valuable, is on the right, feedback that's meant to help, that gives you direction.
Which brings us to the best part, how to find that signal in all of this noise. Because, look, not all criticism is bad. A tiny, tiny fraction of it is pure gold. But you have to know what you're looking for. So what does that gold look like? Well, it has 3 clear hallmarks. Number 1, it's specific. It goes way beyond just, I don't like it. Number 2, it actually suggests a way to get better. It offers a path forward. And number 3, this one's crucial. It's respectful. It critiques the work, not the person.
And that's really the bottom line. Feedback that checks those 3 boxes, that's a gift. That is the signal you're listening for. Everything else, all those other psychological games we talked about,
That's just noise. And you can absolutely learn to tune it out.
Okay, so how do you actually do that in the heat of the moment? I'm going to give you a new mental filter to install. It's one simple question that is going to change how you hear criticism forever.
But first, let's just hammer this home one last time. Let's lock it in. The criticism you receive is almost always a window into the speaker's inner world, not a perfect reflection of your performance. Always remember that.
All right, here it is. This is the magic question. The next time you get a piece of criticism, just pause and run it through this filter. Ask yourself, is this comment designed to help me improve? Or is it really designed to help them feel better? Is this about my growth, or is it about their comfort?
And asking that one question leads you to two very simple, very powerful outcomes. If you decide the feedback is genuinely about helping you, great. Extract that little nugget of value and use it to get better. But if you realize it's actually about helping them feel more powerful or more secure or less jealous, then you have full permission to emotionally discard it. Let it go. It's not your burden to carry. It's their noise, not your signal.